Good morning, Malta and Gozo, and welcome to another edition of Lovin Daily, Friday edition. How are you, Paula?
Bonjour Chris, bonjour kull min qed isegwina eċċitata mhux għall-weekend għall-programm tal-lum għax għandna naqas tejjer varjati għedilna x'inhuma Chris.
Echo. So let's start with the headlines. So first of all, there are 5 new countries to be added to Malta's safe travel list from July. We don't know which countries they are. We'll talk a bit about that. 500 tons of Maltese potatoes are going to feed 500,000 Africans in a humanitarian mission. Schembri summoned to testify in the police's case against Jorgen Fenech over the Caruana Galizia assassination. The EU has to lower recruitment standards for anti-corruption prosecutor body because of Malta's delays. And at least 58 women in Malta had an abortion in the UK, and 1 MEP has come out as possibly pro-choice. So let's start the stories, Paula.
Mela jidher illi f'Lulju ser ikollna l-possibilità illi nibdew s-sajf forsi kif nafuha aħna hekk kif qed jinfetħu iktar rotot milli jidher illi fihom nistgħu nivvjaġġaw. Tajjeb li ngħidu illi s'issa kienu mħabbrin 19 pajjiż fejn ser ikunu aċċettati illi t-turisti jiġu f'pajjiżna bla ma joqogħdu kwarantina u l-bieraħ il-Ministru tat-Turiżmu Giulia Farrugia Portelli qalet li ħajjiżdiedu 5 pajjiżi oħra. Tajb li ngħidu li din il-lista ta' 24 pajjiż però tfisser illi min ġej minn dawk il-pajjiżi jista' jidħol Malta. Mhuwiex neċessarjament il-każ li aħna l-Maltin nistgħu nivvjaġġaw f'dawn il-pajjiżi mingħajr kwarantina. Dan għaliex kull pajjiż għandu dritt illi jagħmel il-protokolli illi jiflaħ il-pajjiż tiegħu, bidu naraw l-airlines jekk hux ħajtiru l-istess ammont ta' vjaġġi l-istess destinazzjonijiet li kienet itiru qabel il-COVID, u mbagħad hemmhekk forsi jkollna l-possibilità li nippjanaw il-summer holiday tagħna kif konna nagħmlu qabel. Però jekk ittippjanaw nkun patriotta, provaw bukjaw mal-Air Malta biex forsi insalvaw b'xi mod il-kumpanija illi dejjem nisimgħu ħalli ma ngħidx itfalliha. Problemi qawwija dwarha. Insa tsifer Chris das-sajf?
Għandi pjanijiet bil-nsifer, I have 2 actual flights booked, one on the safe list and one not on the safe list. So we've got to see. I'm hoping the other one is on this new list of 5 countries. We'll wait and see. Some other things the tourism minister said yesterday is that Malta is going to experience 70% less tourism than usual, which is a huge number, keeping in mind that tourism contributes to at least 1/3 of our GDP. We also know that the Prime Minister also said that it's crucial that we do add more countries to the safe list, considering that the airport is going to be opening, so there are these economic realities to it as well. And just a quick update on the COVID numbers. Yesterday we had 5 cases. 5 cases announced as positive cases, 3 recoveries. So our active cases have gone down to 31. And we also hit the mark of having 600 recoveries in total. So, things are still looking quite positive in terms of the COVID numbers, especially considering that those 5 cases came from a cluster of other cases, right, Paula?
Vidi tfisser illi il-każ ta' kif qed jiżidu l-każijiet u għax persuna jkollu il-COVID ma jkunx jaf probabbli ttieħdu ta' madwaru għalhekk importanti il-miżuri preventivi tal-maskra taħsar idejk, eċetera, u allura ma jfissirx li għandna xi każijiet sporadiċi f'pajjiżna dejjin u minnhom qegħdin jittieħdu. Ġifieri sa ċertu punt huwa tajjeb li dawn ikunu cluster.
Moving from our travel story into another travel-related story, Malta is going to be sending 500 tons of potatoes to Namibia as part of a humanitarian mission, part humanitarian for the people in the Africans in Namibia, and partly humanitarian for the Maltese farmer. As we know, potato exports have dried up due to COVID, and yet Malta has a lot of potatoes and a lot of good potatoes as well. And now, the Foreign Affairs Ministry seems to have found a way of helping both sides, presumably using some sort of aid fund that Malta has. So
yeah. Nkunu qed nesportaw 25 kilogramma boros ta' 25 kilos ta' patata u huwa stmat li 500,000 persuna se tkun qed tirċievi kilo patata kull wieħed. Proset ma konniex noqsru il-patata ħadd għamilna daqshekk forsi ġenerużi imma dali kemm mhux qed jintrema kif qed insemmu l-patata ma nistax ma nsemmix il-programm basically li daħħal il-patata din il-ġimgħa ovvjament fl-ispirtu tal-My Life is Potato segwu ħaġbera tajjeb u qabad nirġu u spiċċajt nikol pizza.
Move on to the next story.
Serjetà. Mela, il-bieraħ smajna il-ġurnalisti semgħu l-aħħar recordings illi kien hemm fil-kumpilazzjoni tal-każ kontra Jürgen Fenech fejn Melvin Teuma kienet l-aħħar seduta tiegħu fejn kienet tkun mistoqsi mill-prosekuzzjoni. Mintom ħadd immissjaw wis għaliex Melvin Teuma jerġa' jirritorna fl-awli għal cross-examination min-naħa tal-avukat ta' Jürgen Fenech fejn wieħed jistenna li daw ħajprovaw jiskreditaw kull darba li semma Jürgen dawn ir-recordings ukoll jippruvaw jamplifikaw kull meta semma xi ħadd ieħor, ovvjament, jagħmlu xogħolhom. Ukoll il-bieraħ kellna rendi konta minn fadal illi jixed fosthom wieħed mill-ikbar ismijiet li qegħdin mistennija biex jagħmel ix-xhieda tiegħu huwa Schembri fejn mistenni li jagħti x-xhieda tiegħu mhux iktar tard mis-seduta ta' 22 ta' Ġunju hemm antiċipazzjoni wkoll kbira għal dak li ser ikun mistoqsi u dak li ser ikun imwieġeb. Fl-aħħar tal-każ donnu qed jiċċaqlax kellu jaqaf ħabba l-Covid u ħafna baqgħu bl-antiċipazzjoni ta' recordings jisnet naraw xi series x'taħseb int Chris.
Yeah, like you said, now is the turn of the defense team to grill Melvin Teuma on the other names mentioned. I think that the key other name, well, there are two, I guess. There's Schembri, who last time was meant to testify but didn't because of COVID. And we know the last time he was in court actually to testify was in his own case. Where he ended up dropping the case not to testify. So I wonder what the 22nd of June is going to hold in terms of his testimony, a crucial testimony. Also, yesterday, Chris Cardona was mentioned once again in relation to this case, in relation to payments given to killers, which the killers have denied this. But also, Jason Atsopardi mentioned that Chris Cardona was found with a gun in his mouth and then was admitted to hospital. So presumably that is the version of events linked to that overdose that was allegedly that had been mentioned in Chris Cardona's regard. But now we've got to see how this plays out. Obviously, this is, I think, a case that has gripped the nation, a really important case in terms of justice and in terms of how crime has intersected with Maltese politics. So we need to get to the bottom of it, and hopefully these next testimonies will reveal some more information. And moving on to the next story, we've got I think another judiciary. And also on Malta's questionable credentials. So the EU is having to lower its recruitment standards to proceed with setting up the European Public Prosecutor's Office, which will be a cross-border entity that will be able to fight financial crime and corruption across the countries. Now Malta was always reluctant to join this body. It was kind of forced to do so because of the mounting corruption allegations and the scrutiny that Malta was going under. But Malta now, once it accepted to join, it kept nominating people who were absolutely not meeting the requirements of the role. One of the people that is recommended to the role is Charles Mercia, who was, a junior lawyer within the AG's office. And this is a role that requires, 15 years of public prosecution experience or judicial experience. It also requires independence, as in political independence and another requirement. So it seems that Malta is really doing its utmost to delay the EPPO from being set up. And now Europe is saying we just can't delay anymore. We're going to be, proceeding with a candidate that Malta suggests. I think this is highly embarrassing for Malta. Paula, what do you think?
Jiena naqbel miegħek li imbarazzanti illi mill-avukati kollha għaliex f'pajjiżna magħruf li l-ikbar kors fl-università huwa dak tal-liġi mifquajn avukati kulħadd xi punt ta' ħajtu jaf il xi ħadd li qeleb u sar avukat. M'għandniex avukati speċjalizzati f'daw it-tliet oqsma li ilhom 15-il sena mal-Uffiċċju tal-Avukat Ġenerali. Ma nemminx illi din hija delaying tactic però. Mill-għażla ta' Charles Merċi nemmen li se kienet delaying tactic għaliex ovvjament ma kienx se jkollu dal kriterji, speċjalment bi 15-il sena esperjenza, 15-il sena ilu konna naraw il-Cartoon Network. Però dan juri li hemm bżonn investiment qawwi provokati tal-AG's Office imqarb fil-paga tagħhom biex da jkun hemm xi ħaġa li żommhom hemmhekk għal tul 15 sena perjodu twil, għal perjodu twil fl-Uffiċċju tal-Avukat Ġenerali. Jalla illi dal-biddiet isiru għaliex demokrazija soda għandha bżonn Uffiċċju tal-Avukat Ġenerali minn esperjenza. U neqilbu it-topic kompletament il-bieraħ kien irrapportat illi minn tal-inqas 58 mara Maltija rrikorriet għall-abort fl-Ingilterra fis-sena 2019. Mela jekk wieħed janalizza n-numri, qegħdin nitkellmu fuq pajjiż wieħed, qegħdin nitkellmu fuq sena waħda u qegħdin nitkellmu fuq dawk in-nisa illi kienu komdi biżżejjed illi jirreġistraw il-pajjiż minn fejn huma ġejjin. Ġifieri wieħed jipprova jimmaġina kemm huma ikbar l-ammont tan-nisa illi kellhom isifru biex jagħmlu abort. Da xi fisser? Ifisser li billi nibqgħu bl-abort bħala krimini illegali fuq in-nisa tagħna, ġifieri dan jekk Martin qabad lemmet abort tista' teħel minn 18 sar sa 3 snin ħabs u mis-sena 2000 law kienu tlieta in-nisa illi weħlu għadi. Minflok qegħdin insibu mod kif dan in-nisa li ma jridux li jsiru ommijiet bnejnuhom qegħdin nagħmlu l-proċess tagħhom wieħed unsafe għaliex biex inti tkun diġà għaddejja mill-agħar naħseb żmien ta' ħajtek hemm werra titfittex healthcare system li tajba biex tmur barra minn Malta tissib li xi ħadd li komda li tajb li x'ħadd tagħmel u biex forsi jiġi jissapportjak biex ma tmurx waħdek. Tissib il-flus hawn min jiddejjem biex imur dawn huma l-hurdles illi mara xorta lesta illi tellibhom jekk ma tridx illi issirhom. Meta ħan iddeċiedu illi din hija realtà li ma nistgħux innaqsuha billi nibqgħu ninjorawha, nispera illi ma ndumux wisq. Ħandumu ma nispera li ma ndumux sa 50 sena oħra. Okay, rant over.
Well, what's interesting as well is yesterday Malta's abortion came under the spotlight of The Guardian as well. They did a big piece about the COVID related reproductive rights and how Malta's ban is resulting in women getting pregnant, not being able to go to countries like the UK, which they usually go to have abortions. But something else was said in the Guardian article. We've got a story about it this morning, and I think it's a big story, which is that Malta's MEP, Alfred Sant, a former Prime Minister of Malta from the Labour Party, has come out as leaning towards pro-choice, which is probably the biggest, I guess, development in terms of abortion politically in a very long while. He's saying that the complete ban is unsustainable, that basically it is inevitable that Malta will have to legalize abortion at some point. And I think, this is a really important statement. He also spoke about how a lot of politicians and doctors and other people in Malta talk about this in private, but don't talk about this in public, And I think this is a real issue. We know that abortion as a topic hasn't really been discussed in Malta. It's just something that people are triggered over, almost as much as people are triggered over the languages that we use on this program and it being a bilingual program. Hopefully, your comments on abortion, Paula, will get people talking about something else other than the fact that this is a bilingual program in a country which is bilingual and which has 2 official languages. But yeah, I think, spoke about a lot of stories today, Paula. Obviously, the weekend is going to bring with it its own stories. So keep following lovinmalta.com to get your news on the minute, and follow Lovin Daily. We'll be with you again on Monday to give you a roundup of the top stories and something to talk about. Paula, have a great
Grazzi tal-li segwejtuna. Women's rights are human's rights, kif kiteb fl-ħadd partikolari, u komplu tkellmu żewġ lingwi għaliex Malta l-ek sabiħ għax għandna d-diversità. Have a lovely weekend and have a weekend full of loving. Ciao.
Goodbye.